Medical dramas have always seemed to hold the attention of viewers, and that's why for the past decade we have seen so many. Others come and go, while there are a select few that have made their marks on our brains and hearts. Some of the most memorable ones are House, Grey's Anatomy, and ER. Another medical drama making its mark is The Resident. In this video, we're going to talk about the secrets behind the scenes which people don't know about. The Fox show has thrown its hat into the operating room. Written and co-created by Haley Shore, the show centers around a young doctor who starts his residency after the supervision of a senior resident who comes across as brilliant and tough, but who turns out to be a deadly and cunning psychopath. The show has plenty of realism, but contrary to what most fans believe, it isn't based on a true story. It doesn't tell true stories based on real people, but it does attempt to give the country's medical system a realistic look. The main characters act as if they are in a real hospital, and credit has to be given where it's due. The main and the supporting characters of the show. The patients, just like those in a real hospital, are sometimes challenging. So, in case you were wondering why people can't get enough of the show, it's because it aims to depict hospital settings accurately rather than think of everything as just a fictional plot. How about the filming locations? Where were the scenes shot? The show is primarily filmed in Conyers in Atlanta and Georgia, but is set in the fictional Chastain Park Memorial. The majority of the production is hosted at the Film Rockdale studio, and the hospital is actually the High Museum of Art in Midtown Atlanta. The lobby's giant atrium, which was designed by the same person who did LA's Getty Center, provides the backdrop for the medical complex. But scenes showing the interiors of the hospital are filmed on a soundstage in Conyers and Rockdale County. Part of the Woodruff Arts Center, the main building also doubles as one of the hospital's entrances. Waiton's Bar, the favorite hangout of Conrad and his friends, is the Point Bar, which is a fully working bar. It is located at 939 Railroad Street in Conyers, so if you fancy visiting it, whether alone or with friends, you can do so. The bike race, which was also featured on the third episode, was shot at Horse Park, which is also in Conyers. Of course, fans also remember the wedding from the first episode of the fourth season. It was filmed at the Nine Oaks Farm in Monroe, which is an hour's drive away from Atlanta. The rustic venue is perfect for weddings. It features a renovated barn and garden, which is more than 100 years old. The show looks at people through a cynic's glasses. It offers a darker view of people, and it is evident in the way some of the hospital staff care for their patients. The show is well written, and aside from the cast acting, it's the main reason why people love it very much. Its view of the darker side of humanity is refreshing. Idealistic young doctors don't tolerate soapbox speeches, and when they disagree with the system, they let it be known. It seems that the world needs people who are the likes of Dr. Conrad Hawkins. The touchy, cocky, and manipulative Dr. Hawkins, portrayed by Matt Zuckery, can be kind despite his arrogance. He aims to preserve the lives of his patients, but he is not hesitant to break the rules and use manipulative means when needed. He will do whatever it takes to get his way, even if he has to resort to unscrupulous methods. Speaking of Dr. Conrad Hawkins, although he is arrogant, he is a beloved character not only among cast members, but also fans. Zuckery considers his character as the hero who fights for the little guy. In a promotional interview, he said that one of the main reasons why he had taken on the character was that he saw the doctor ultimately wanting to help people despite his tendencies to go off book. Other characters in the show say that Conrad's ability to constantly come off as a hero demonstrates that he truly cares for others. He is not focused on the hospital making money. He is someone who doesn't capitalize on the misfortune of other people. The show has a string of assertive and strong female characters. Unlike other shows, it doesn't just focus on the boys. Well, it can't be denied that the show revolves around the men primarily, but you can't ignore the group of strong female characters because they are a force. Emily Van Camp is the show's female lead. She portrays Nicolette Nevin, and she has played the nurse practitioner since the show debuted in 2018. Nick is arguably the character with the most improvement since the series began, and she is never seen as a helpless young woman who is the main doctor's love interest. There are other strong-willed women on the show, such as Mina, who's a fan favorite, Claire Thorpe, who is a headstrong and powerful woman, and Lane Hunter, who is fascinating but terrifying at the same time. Speaking of Emily Van Camp and her character Nick, there's a very important update about her time on the show. The nurse practitioner is clocking out of the hospital permanently. EW has confirmed that the actress is leaving the series ahead of the premiere of the 5th season. As of now, we don't know yet the circumstances surrounding her departure from the show. However, the actress revealed earlier that she and her husband, John Bowman, have just become parents to a beautiful baby girl. Van Camp isn't the only person who's going to be missed when the 5th season starts. Morris Chestnut, who portrays neurosurgeon Barrett Kane, is also reportedly not returning as a regular on the series. However, he is still expected to have a recurring role. In April of this year, it was also reported that Shawnette Renee Wilson, who expertly portrays Mina Okafor, was also leaving the show. She said that after some time, she decided to approach the producers asking them if she could leave the show, and they agreed. They also gave her character a wonderful send-off. So what does the departure mean for the show? Season 5 will have to start and continue without her, but she might still have a few surprise appearances to tie off loose ends. The end of the 4th season didn't set up Van Camp saying goodbye, because at that time the decision hadn't been made yet. News of her exit surprised a lot of people, especially the fans. The finale of season 4 did not indicate whatsoever that things weren't going well for Conrad and Nick. In fact, their future looked promising, and fans believed that they were going to be raising their little girl together. News of the couple's wedding came on the heels of the ending of the pandemic in the universe of the show, and it seemed fitting to end on a happy note. When season 4 ended, the only question on people's minds was how much airtime Morris Chestnut was going to have and how many episodes he was going to be on, because he was committed to another Fox show, and things like that always lead to problems. Nowadays, people are wondering how they are going to write Nick's story out of the show and what it means for Dr. Conrad and the rest of the cast. However, based on the promo for the new season, it doesn't look like the resident is saying goodbye to Nick yet. One of the things they could do is say that she's on a sabbatical or is being transferred to another hospital, or perhaps quit hospital work altogether. There are shots of Conrad standing over his daughter's crib and of a pair of police officers knocking on his door, which Conrad opens with the baby in his arms. From all we have seen so far, it seems that Conrad is in for a tragedy. Some fans are speculating that MCU might be raking her out of the series so she can return to the big screen. Let's just hope that the show's delicious villainess is still able to keep the show interesting. Female villains have always been underrated because it can be a challenge to portray them with the layers necessary to make them as intriguing as male villains. As much as possible, everyone wants to avoid portraying female villains as sexist and one-dimensional. Producers and writers want females to be compelling. Lane Hunter, luckily, doesn't seem to have that problem. She is powerful, wealthy, and smart. She's also manipulative and cunning. She is both sweet and sickening, and that prevents her from being the regular ice queen, which we see a lot of. She is alluring, seductive, and uses her intelligence more than her sexuality, although she has no problems using the latter when the need arises. Suffice it to say that she is one of the best female villains on TV today. Melina Kanakaridis, the actress portraying Lane Hunter, delivers a very convincing performance, and without her as the villain, the show would be so different. You will hate her when she's in character, but her performance will strike you at the same time. Well, it seems that things will definitely change once the 5th season begins. We won't be seeing familiar faces we have grown to love and care about deeply. We can't wait to see what the new season has in store, but we sure do hope that it keeps the show as exciting as we know it. What do you think will happen, and what are you most looking forward to in the 5th season? Do you think Nick will still appear in a few episodes, even if Van Camp leaves the show? Hey, we'll see you again next time.